Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to a long overdue top 10. Today's list is of my top 10 comic adapted movies, no superheroes edition. This top 10 is a collab featuring Athena and Sarah from Cinemates. Links to their channel, blog, and social media will be posted in the description box below, so be sure to go and check them out and show them some support. But now, let's begin the list. Starting in at number 10 is Richie Rich. Richie Rich is a 1994 American comedy film directed by Donald Petrie with a screenplay by Tom S. Parker and Jim Kennywein, in a story by Neil Tolkien. It's based on the Harvey cartoon character of the same name created by Alfred Harvey and Warren Kremer. It follows a rich young boy who finds his family targeted by an inside job and must use his cunning to save them. Whilst this might not be the best movie in the world, it is still a fun and enjoyable ride about what people will do to feed their greed, not judging a book by its cover, and about the importance of family and friends over superficial things. Richie Rich is a boy who has everything: his own roller coaster, training from elite athletes, and even his own McDonald's. Lucky bastard. But he doesn't have real friends, showing being rich isn't always what it's cracked up to be. On top of that, we have Richie's fun and loving parents, who we see at the end of the day love their son and the memories they share as a family more than any money in the world. It's got fun action for the family, is lighthearted, and sees a bunch of kids kicking the bad guy's butt. Sign me up. At number 9 is Tank Girl. Tank Girl is a 1995 American science fiction action comedy film directed by Rachel Talalay with a screenplay by Teddy Sarafian. It's based on the British post-apocalyptic comic series of the same name by Alan Martin and Jamie Hewlett. Set in a drought-ravaged Australia years after a catastrophic impact event, it follows Tank Girl as she and Jet Girl and genetically modified super soldiers called the Rippers fight water and power and oppressive corporation. While receiving a negative critical reception and being a box office failure on top of being done by a studio that continued to step on the toes of its director and taking away her control, it still ended up being an example of a comic book film that developed an impressive cult following. Tank Girl was a fun, ostentatious, and unique film to come out of 1995, and despite being panned by critics, stands out from the pack. It has flair and, much like comic art, pops off the screen. With strong feminist themes, one can only imagine what those already strong themes might have been like had the studio not taken over control and butchered the director's vision for this movie. Nevertheless, I get a kick out of this film for being one hell of a ride. At number 8 is V for Vendetta. V for Vendetta is a 2005 dystopian political thriller film directed by James McTeague and written by the Wachowski brothers, based on the 1988 DC/Vertigo Comics limited series of the same name by Alan Moore and David Lloyd. Set in an alternate future where a Nordic supremacist and neo-fascist regime has subjugated the United Kingdom, V, an anarchist freedom fighter, attempts to ignite a revolution through elaborate terrorist acts along with a young working-class woman who gets caught up in his mission. There is never a dull moment with this film. At every moment there is something going on and new things to learn, not just about the world our movie is set in, but our main character V, and it becomes hypnotic as a viewer to watch the story and events within it unfold. This movie has a never-ending supply of social commentary that indeed has made audiences think and reflect, and to this day has people quoting much of its unforgettable dialogue and now iconic use of the Guy Fawkes mask. In 7th place on this list is Casper. Casper is a 1995 American live-action computer-animated fantasy comedy film directed by Brad Silberling and written by Sherry Stoner, Deanna Oliver, and J.J. Abrams, based on the Harvey Comics cartoon character Casper the Friendly Ghost, created by Seymour Wright and Joe Ariolo. The film follows a paranormal expert and his daughter who move into an abandoned house populated by 3 mischievous ghosts and 1 friendly one. While people today may can Casper for its use of CGI, at the time the effects used were cutting edge and for that time period deserved praise and still do. It's a lovely childhood classic with subtle dark tones, making it still appropriate for children. It has the whimsical style of a kids movie and enough spooky fun for the whole family, and as with most good family films, comes with a story of morals and good overcoming evil in any form. At number 6 is Men in Black. Men in Black, also known as MIB, is a series of American science fiction action comedy films directed by Barry Sonnenfeld and based on the Malibu Marvel comic book series The Men in Black by Lowell Cunningham. The series consists of Men in Black, released in 1997, Men in Black 2, released in 2002, and Men in Black 3, released in 2012, with a spin-off currently in the works. The series follows a secret organization called the Men in Black who supervise extraterrestrial life forms who live on Earth and hide their existence from ordinary humans. The Men in Black franchise is a fun and bizarre set of films full of action and humor with the occasional morality and emotional plot points thrown in as well. Some of the things it excels at are its use of practical and special effects which feel otherworldly, which is perfect for the film's subject matter. The series features fantastic as always music courtesy of Danny Elfman and a couple of great soundtrack songs by the Fresh Prince himself, Will Smith, who is one of the main stars of the franchise alongside Tommy Lee Jones.
This is Athena from Cinemates, and coming in at number 5 is The Mask, directed by Chuck Russell and screenplay by Mike Webb. The main reason I loved this film as a kid was for Jim Carrey. It felt as if the character was made for him. Like so many people, I didn't realise it was based on a comic at first, and understandably, with the creative violence that the alter ego of Stanley Ipkiss would have, there's no way it would fit into the 90s family-friendly film that we got. Though, after seeing some of Carrey's later work, I wholeheartedly believe that he would have smashed the role if it were a closer adaptation. Nostalgia aside, it's a fun film, an interesting concept, and come on, you've got to love Cuban Pete.
At number 4 is From Hell. From Hell is a 2001 American mystery horror film directed by the Hughes brothers and loosely based on the graphic novel From Hell by Alan Moore and Eddie Campbell. The film, centered in the Victorian era of 1880s London, follows a troubled clairvoyant police detective who investigates the murders of Jack the Ripper. This was not the first or the last of Alan Moore's works to be adapted for the cinema, and it's the second to be put on this list, with the other being V for Vendetta. Moore had plenty of criticism for this film, as well as other films adapted from his work, including The League of Extraordinary Gentlemen. It would seem all the adaptations of his work I loved pissed him off, although he did decline to watch V for Vendetta as he couldn't bear to see them screw it up the way they screwed up The League of Extraordinary Gentlemen or From Hell. Despite mixed reviews, I have a special love for this film. I enjoy its stylish approach to the thriller genre and depicting a combination of enhanced abilities along with a 19th century take on profiling. I also enjoy the performances in this film and the ongoing sense of the traditional killer and investigator's game of cat and mouse. Following at number 3 is Red. Red is a set of American action comedy films consisting of 2010's Red and 2013's Red 2. They are inspired by the limited comic book series of the same name created by Warren Ellis and Cully Hammer, and published by the DC Comics imprint Homage. The film follows former CIA agent Frank Moses, who is classified as Red, retired, extremely dangerous, and various other assassins, spies, and former agents who work together to foil evil plots. With both wit and style, these films show that you're never too old to kick some ass. With its cast consisting predominantly of actors well over the age of 45, it is still able to go toe-to-toe with its big-budget counterparts. Red is amusing, light, and definitely action-packed, making them ideal for anyone who is a fan of the genre or anyone who is just a fan of watching Bruce Willis kick ass with minimal effort. And for anyone wondering what it would be like to see Helen Mirren taking people out with a machine gun while wearing army boots in this season's couture, then these films most certainly deliver in spades. And with the third installment in the works, this little cinephile can't get enough.
I'm Sarah and I'm from the channel Cinemates, and coming in at number 2 is Constantine. This film is directed by Francis Lawrence and the screenplay for this film is done by Kevin Brodbin and Frank A. Capello. I mean, where do you really start with Constantine? This film contains everything you could really want to be featured in a film that is adapted from a comic book. It's all just beautifully complemented with some great, dark, dry humour. And I mean, you just can't forget Keanu Reeves. The cast is great, he plays it wonderfully, and I mean, he's just a dish.
And in first place is Kingsman. 2014's Kingsman: The Secret Service and 2017's Kingsman: The Golden Circle are action spy comedy films directed by Matthew Vaughn and written by Jane Goldman and Vaughn. They are based on Dave Gibbons and Mark Millar's comic book series The Secret Service. Both films center around a spy organization known as the Kingsmen who tackle global threats. These films have an incredible style and some of the most impressive action sequences I've ever seen used in action movies. They are able to simultaneously produce the exhilaration of an action scene while adding in doses of humor to add to the audience's enjoyment. Each has exceptional performances and scores, all tied to a fun and engaging storyline. Anything that combines my love of action and comedy so brilliantly is okay in my book. That's it for today's top 10. Be sure to comment down below and share your thoughts on this list. What are some of your favourite comic adapted movies that don't involve superheroes? A special thanks to Athena and Sarah for participating in this collab. Don't forget to check them out and like this video and subscribe to this channel for future top 10s. Until next time, bye.